Hi everyone, this is Kathy Groskirk with Bookkeeping Clean and Simple, and here I am doing the next video in the series on the path to ProAdvisor and how to use QuickBooks Online Accountant. And today we're going to do a deep dive with working with your team. And as you can see, I am in the Garcia Consulting sample realm, and we are in the Clients tab, which is what we covered last time. And I'll put all the links to the previous videos in the comments. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and switch gears. We're going to talk about, as a firm member, how important it is to have team members and how to work with those team members. So what we're going to do is, under your practice right here, we're going to click on the team tab, and that'll take us to the team area. And as you can see, there's two areas in the team area. We have the access, and then we also have the certification section. We're going to talk a little bit about the access section first, and then we're going to switch over to the certifications. Now, as far as access goes, these are a listing of all the people that you have listed within your firm. And if you come over here to this little gear icon right here, you can see there's very minimal things that you can do with the columns. Basically, you want to see all these columns: job title, access, and status. You may want to increase the number of rows, but right now they have it set at the default of 50. But they have turned on the include inactive, which is normally turned off as a default setting. But we're going to leave it on so that way you can see some of the things that you can do in here. These column year headings, you can click on to reorganize by alphabet. Now, unfortunately, they alphabetize by first name, which is kind of weird, but that's just something, if you know, then you can work with, okay? Now, as far as job title goes, when I show you how to add a user or edit a user, these are arbitrarily given. So one of my suggestions is to come up with a list of a handful, maybe 5 to 7 different job titles, so that way they're easily manageable. There's no way to filter this list. The only thing that you can do is sort. That's the other thing I want to mention. You can also sort by email. You can also sort by access, whether they have full, basic, custom, or primary admin, however you want to do that. So there's really, like I said, no way to sort. That would be something that we could recommend. Maybe Intuit will consider in one of their upgrades. And then the status as well. You can click on the column you're heading to organize by active going down to invited or inactive. And we're going to talk about the difference between all these. So like I said, there's only inactive showing on this list because they have it checked in the box. But as far as action, basically, if you click on the edit button, what this will do is to allow you to go in here and edit this user. And when we actually go in and talk about adding a user, we're going to be basically seeing these same screens. So we're not actually going to add a user, but you can actually add a user from here. So let's go ahead and do this now. And apparently, I guess you can print out this list if you wanted to. You can go in here and do a print of this list, which we're not going to do that. But let's go through the process of pretending like we're adding a user. Now, if I click on add a user here, we're not actually going to go through this screen because, like I said, I can show you all this, and it's basically mirrored in when you're editing a user. So let's go in here. And basically, when we're talking about folks that have been invited versus any of those that are active, basically what that means is that this guy, Chris, was sent an invitation once he was added as a user, and he just never responded to that. So if you notice that someone doesn't have access, or they say that they don't have access to your firm after you send out the invitation, you can usually check in here to see whether or not they responded to the invitation. And one of the things you have to be very careful about is making sure that email address is in there correctly when you're setting this up. So anyway, let's just go ahead and do him real quick since he's been invited, and we're going to go ahead and click on edit. And like I said, this mimics the screen of when you're actually adding a user. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to put in the user profile, and you're going to add all that in here. So if we were on the add user screen, we'll put in the first name, the last name. Again, make sure that that email address is correct. You may want to copy it from an email that you may have received from this individual to make sure that there are no typos or anything like that. I've had an instance where someone had tried to send me an invitation and they typed the email address incorrectly. And make sure also when you get this email address from them, ask them if it's the email address tied to their Intuit ID, because ideally you want that email address to be tied to their Intuit ID, so that way it'll show up in their list of firms that they are working with, because they may have their own firm, they may be working with several other firms. So you want to make sure that that email that you're using is tied into an Intuit ID. So once you fill this out, like I said, you want to fill out the title. And like I said, you'll probably want to have a list of 3 to 5 different titles that you would use. So that way you're not having to spend a whole lot of time with trying to do a bunch of sorting and stuff like that on title. So that can be overwhelming sometimes. And then, like I said, the main difference between this screen and adding and editing is that you can also resend the invitation here, or you can delete the user if you know that they're not going to come in here. So that's the main difference between that. But if we're adding a user, we wouldn't see these two things. Then it would have a next screen where we would go on to click on next, and then we go to the firm administration and books. Now, one of the things I will say about this section here is that it is not as granular as some firm owners would like, because basically you only have the option, if you don't want them to mess with anything in your firm, is to have view only. And so that's something that at the recent QB Connect in Vegas, they said that they were going to be adding more granular permissions for users in the firm. So this is good to know. But one of the things you want to make sure, if you want your clients to manage any of your clients on your list, which is one of the reasons why you want to bring them on, right, is you want to go ahead and choose yes. Now, if you don't want them to mess with anything in your client's books, you're going to definitely make sure that these are checked no. And so basically that's the best that you can do. And this is a custom access. As you can see, here's the list of all the things that you can do as far as setting them up. Most people have a blend of basic and custom, and very few have full access. So anyway, the next thing that we can do is go into client access. And then if we were setting these people up from scratch, then we can just put check marks in all the different areas where they will be managing certain books. And as you can see, there's only about a handful of companies here that this person was set up to originally have control over. And these are the only ones that would show up in his firm list when he logs into the firm. None of these other ones will show up, but you can always add or you can always remove, okay? And then once you do that, you would click on save to save any changes that you had. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the X to get out of that. Now that's the overview of the Access tab, and hopefully that makes sense to you. I'm going to go ahead and click now on the Certifications tab, and this is going to be really helpful for you as firm owners when you start adding firm members. What you want to do is you want to make sure that your firm members, if you are wanting to be a good steward of the people that you are working with and also the companies that you are working with within your firm, this is how you can see what certifications that each of your firm members have. And it doesn't look like you can really sort by certifications. That would be something I would recommend if you wanted to make that suggestion through the feedback feature into it. But as you can see, we have various people with different certifications here. And you can also see out to the very far right, the expiration dates. So that way you can kind of keep tabs on them. And then if they're getting close to the expiration of their certifications, you can just gently remind them that their certifications are coming up. And a lot of firm members like to have these people be certified because it, like I said, it helps them out with the management of their firm. And it just also makes the people who are working with the books more qualified and things like that. Some don't even have any. So that's something else to make a note of as well. So if someone was to lose their certification, then it will just go away. I've seen that in my firm. So anyway, this is how you can manage those. And what's real important, and we'll cover that next time when we talk about ProAdvisor benefits, is how all these certifications come into play in the management of our firm and our realm as a whole. So anyway, I hope this helps you today. And like I said, next time we're going to talk about the ProAdvisor benefits area and how all these certifications and everything tie into that. So anyway, I hope you'll have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone, and we will see you soon. Thank you for watching. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and share it with others. My goal is to publish at least one new video per week on QuickBooks desktop or online topics, the occasional motivational video, and a few surprises thrown in here and there. I would love to talk to you about how to help you optimize your knowledge and usage of QuickBooks desktop or online. My Calendly link is in the slide. Please use that to reach out to me to schedule a free 45-minute initial consult. I would love to talk to you about your QuickBooks desktop or online training needs. Again, have a wonderful day, and until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care.